What is up, Flavor Family? It's Bobby, and today we are gonna rock 5 meal prepping for weight losses that are gonna help you with your New Year's resolutions. These recipes are hella tasty, crazy easy to make, and don't worry, just because you're trying to lose weight and eat healthy doesn't mean you have to eat bland, boring food. I take that myth and I punch it in the damn face. So I hope you guys are ready for some awesome recipes. Before we get to them, click subscribe. I am rocking out new recipes every Friday, and they are some of the best meal prepping on YouTube, or at least I'm calling them that, and that's good enough. All right, let's get started with the recipe number 1. It's my turkey meatloaf with cauliflower rice pilaf loaded with veggies. Get this, it's crazy comfort food, and it only has 308 calories, and it's so darn bomb. This is how you do it. Start off by adding some oil to a large nonstick pan, and then go in with onions, celery, carrots, and bell peppers. Pinch in some salt, add some freshly cracked black pepper, and cook that for a few minutes, and then add some dried thyme, along with a few cloves of garlic that are finely minced. Cook that a few more minutes. Add some salt to 1.5 pounds of lean ground turkey breast, along with a few tablespoons of ketchup, some fresh parsley, and a few cracks of black pepper. Crack in 1 egg as the binder, and then once the veggies have cooled down a little bit, add all the veggies to the bowl. Use your hands to mix up everything until it's well combined, and then add it to a meatloaf pan, and make sure the top is really smooth and everything is packed down. For the glaze, add 1/2 cup of ketchup to a bowl, along with a few shakes of chipotle hot sauce. Add 2 teaspoons of agave nectar, and give it a good whisk up. And then pour that glaze all over the top of the meatloaf, and make sure it's covered from edge to edge. Bake the meatloaf in a 350-degree oven for about 45 minutes. I love how the top gets kind of caramelized and sticky. And once it cools down, cut a piece, and look how beautiful that is. Nice and moist and juicy, and all those veggies are just marbled all throughout there. For the cauliflower rice pilaf, add some oil to a pan, and then go in with onions, mushrooms, asparagus, and yellow squash. Pinch in some salt, a few cracks of black pepper, and 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme. Cook that for a couple minutes, and then add a few cloves of garlic that have been finely minced. To make the riced cauliflower, grate some cauliflower florets on a box grater until it kind of breaks down and looks like rice. Add the riced cauliflower to a pan, give it a good mix up, and then put a lid on top of the pan and cook it for about 3 to 4 minutes. Add the zest of 1 lemon to wake things up, some freshly chopped chives, some fresh parsley, and give it one last mix up. Add a big slice of turkey meatloaf to the glass meal prep container, and then scoop in some cauliflower rice pilaf. Now that is healthy, stick to your ribs comfort food that will definitely make you satisfied. Whoever said you can't eat noodles when you're trying to lose weight was wrong, because shirataki noodles are low carb, low calorie, and they are my new BFF. So let's make a beef lettuce wrap with sesame peanut noodles. The whole thing comes in at 400 or so calories, and it's crazy good. This is how you do it. To get the beef started, drizzle in a couple teaspoons of oil into a preheated cast iron pan, and then go in with 1/2 an onion that I finely diced, and then pinch in a little bit of salt and a few cracks of black pepper. Cook that for a few minutes, and because I want to keep this recipe lean, I'm using 90-10 ground beef, which is very lean. So go ahead and add that to the pan, and then use a wooden spoon to break it up as fine as possible. Now cook the mixture for about 5 minutes. Once the beef is halfway done, add some grated ginger and garlic. Cook that for a few more minutes, and then it's time to add the sauces. So glug in a couple tablespoons of low sodium soy sauce. A splash of rice wine vinegar or fresh lime juice will work. Then add a couple teaspoons of chili paste like sriracha or sambal olik. Drizzle in 1/2 teaspoon of toasted sesame oil, and then cook that for another minute, and then kill the heat. Let's get some crunch in there by adding some toasted and chopped peanuts. Shake in some fresh green onions. Give that one last mix up, and the mixture is all done. Now it's time for the veggie and noodle salad. So add a big spoonful of creamy peanut butter to a food processor, along with some chili paste for spice, some fresh lime juice, and a squeeze of agave nectar. Splash in some low sodium soy sauce. Finely grate 1 clove of garlic and get that in the bowl. And tip in 1/2 teaspoon of toasted sesame oil. Give that mixture a buzz up, and it's most likely going to be thick. So add maybe a tablespoon or 2 of water and buzz it up to combine, and the sauce will be nice and creamy and velvety and pourable. Now add the sesame peanut sauce to shirataki noodles, which are the best low carb, low calorie noodles ever. Add some sugar snap peas and some red bell peppers for a fresh crunch, and then shake in some finely sliced green onions. Go in with some sesame seeds, and then for a fresh burst, chop up some mint leaves and add that to the bowl. Give it a really good mix up, and the salad is done. And this is what the noodle salad and the beef lettuce wraps look like. I mean, how good does that look? Then go ahead and add some noodles to a glass meal prep container. Scoop in some of the beef mixture, and your meal prepping containers are done for the week. And P.F. Chang's ain't got nothing on this meal prep, you guys. So I'm pretty much obsessed with spices. If you watch my channel, it's because they add monster flavor and no additional fat. And this is definitely the case with my Moroccan spiced kefta that are made from ground chicken with spiced roasted carrots and other veggies. The whole thing comes in at 425 calories, and it's like a trip to Morocco without even leaving my house. Let's do it. Start off by adding some ground cumin, coriander, and smoked paprika to 2 pounds of ground turkey breast, and then some ground cinnamon and cayenne pepper. Grab 2 cloves of garlic and grate them. Don't even bother peeling them. And then add that to the bowl too. Next, go in with some chopped red onions, some freshly chopped parsley, and some raisins for sweetness. Some chopped pistachios for crunchification, and a little bit of salt. Use your hands to mix up everything until it's well combined. Now use your hands to form little itty bitty keftas or little kebabs. And after you're done, just put it on a clean platter. And what I like to do is dip my hands into water. That makes it so the mixture doesn't stick to your hands and the kefta come out really clean. To cook these bad boys, drizzle 2 teaspoons of olive oil into a preheated cast iron pan. Add your chicken kefta to the pan, and then don't forget to put down your splatter guard. That'll make your cleanup a lot easier later on. Let them cook for about 3 to 4 minutes on the first side, and then give them a flip. And then check out the crust. Because we preheated the pan, they get that beautiful golden brown crust. Okay, it's time to evacuate the dance floor, and make sure you don't overcook these. Ground chicken dries out really quickly. Now to make the dipping sauce, add some tahini, which is sesame seed paste, to a bowl, along with some turmeric powder. Add the zest and the juice of half a lemon, along with a nice squeeze of agave nectar for sweetness. Season it with a pinch of salt, a couple cracks of pepper, and then drizzle in a little bit of water to loosen up the mixture. Whisk everything up until it's nice and loose and creamy. Now for the veggies, start off with cauliflower, carrots, and parsnips, and then use the same spices we used for the kefta, and pour that all over the veggies, and season them up with some olive oil and a little bit of salt. Give them a good mix up, and then chuck them in a 425-degree oven for about 30 to 35 minutes. And this is why I love roasting veggies at high temperatures. Look at the crust on those veggies, and when the cauliflower gets kind of brown or charred on the outside, I love that. Sprinkle over some chopped pistachios for crunchification, a little bit of fresh parsley, and some lemon zest to waken up the flavors. Now tell me those are not some sexy looking veggies. Add some chicken kefta to a glass meal prep container, then scoop in some of the veggies and top them with some pomegranate seeds and some chopped pistachios for that Moroccan flavor. And how good does that meal prep look, you guys? Now when it comes time to eat it, I like to make a lettuce wrap and top it with all the fixins, make it look really pretty with the garnishes, and we are all done. Number 4 is a stuffed chicken meal prep with lentil and artichoke salad and roasted veggies. It's the heartiest, most comforting, yet healthy meal prep you can possibly stuff into your pie hole, and it comes in just over 500 calories, which is crazy considering the amount and the quality of this food. Let's do it. Start off by pounding some chicken breast nice and thin. You could actually ask the butcher at the grocery store to do this for you, and they'll do it. Season the chicken with salt and pepper on both sides, and then smear some store-bought pesto on one side from edge to edge. Add some chopped Kalamata olives for saltiness, and then some roasted red bell peppers for sweetness. Roll the chicken breast up as tightly as possible, and then secure them with either a toothpick or some butcher's twine, and then cut off any excess. Add some olive oil to a preheated cast iron pan, and cook the chicken for about 4 minutes on the first side. And then look at that golden brown crust. Once again, that has so much flavor, I can't even tell you. Once you flip the chicken over, add some low sodium chicken stock to the pan and let them cook another 4 or 5 minutes. That way they cook evenly and stay nice and juicy. Once the chicken is done, make sure to cut away the twine, even though it's very tasty twine, and then cut the chicken in half. Look inside there. The chicken is so moist and all the stuffing is just kind of pinwheeled in there. Next up, chop some cauliflower and some broccoli florets into large bite-sized pieces. Pop them on a sheet tray and season them with some olive oil, salt, and freshly cracked pepper. Shake over a half a teaspoon of dried thyme, give them a really good mix up, and then roast them in a 450-degree oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. And then I love when the cauliflower gets kind of charred around the edges, and the same thing for the broccoli. That just adds so much flavor and much better than boiling veggies. And for the lentil salad, I like to add some chopped artichoke hearts to a bowl of cooked lentils, along with the zest of half an orange, and then the segments of the orange fruit. Grate in 2 carrots, add some chopped and toasted walnuts for crunch, shake in some freshly chopped parsley, add the zest of half a lemon for some freshness, along with lemon juice and orange juice, and then drizzle in a couple tablespoons of good extra virgin olive oil, a pinch of salt, and a few cracks of black pepper. Mix up the salad and it's done. Add some chicken to your meal prep container, scoop in some lentil salad, and top it off with some roasted veggies. Super tasty, hearty, but most importantly, really good for you. For number 5, we're gonna make burgers. But not those greasy burgers that drip all down your chin. We're gonna make lean, healthy salmon burgers with an edamame crunch salad and, wait for it, barbecue kale chips. The entire recipe is so easy to make, crazy delicious, and this is how you break it down. To get the salmon burger started, go ahead and add some chopped salmon to a food processor, along with the zest of half a lemon, 1.5 tablespoons of low-fat mayonnaise, and a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. Blitz that up for a few seconds until it's well combined. Then add the remaining salmon. Go in with 1.5 teaspoons of capers, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, some kosher salt, and a few cracks of black pepper. Pulse everything until it's well combined, and then grab a 1/4 cup of panko breadcrumbs to bind everything together, and some finely sliced green onions. Pulse to combine, and then to form the salmon burgers, I like to put some plastic wrap on top of a mayo lid jar or a peanut butter lid jar, and then press the mixture into it. That way it pops out easily, and you have a uniform patty every single time. It works like a charm. I do this all the time. Form 5 patties, and then put them in the freezer for about 20 minutes so they firm up a little bit, because right now they're too soft. Once the salmon patties are chilled, add a teaspoon of oil to a nonstick pan, and then add 3 of the patties to the pan. You don't want to overcrowd, otherwise they won't cook evenly. Let them go for about 4 minutes and then give them a flip. And that's what you want to see, a nice golden brown crust that has so much flavor. Cook them another 4 minutes and then get them out of the pan. For the edamame crunch salad, add some olive oil to some canned and drained chickpeas, along with some smoked paprika, cumin, salt, and pepper. Give that a good mix up, and then add that to a preheated nonstick pan, and then cook them for a few minutes until a nice spice crust has formed on the outside. Now add the chickpeas to 2 cups of defrosted edamame, along with some raisins for sweetness, some chopped peanuts for crunch. Grate 2 carrots directly into the bowl, and then shake in some fresh parsley. Add some pickled red onions, the zest of half an orange, the zest of half a lemon, the juice of half an orange and half a lemon, along with a nice pinch of salt and a few cracks of black pepper. Drizzle in a couple tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, give it a nice mix up, and the edamame crunch salad is done. Finally, my barbecue kale chips get made by tossing together some black kale with my barbecue spice rub. Give that a good mix up and bake it for about 14 minutes in the oven until they're crispy. And I'm telling you, these are so good you will eat them hunched over the kitchen sink. Hey, don't judge. Cut the salmon patty in half. Look how perfectly that's cooked in the middle. Add that to the glass meal prep container, along with some edamame crunch salad and some kale chips. The kale chips you want to store separately, but it just looks better for the Instagram photo when I played it this way for now. So there it is, you guys. 5 epic meal prepping for weight losses to rock your New Year's resolution. All of the recipes are down below in the description box, along with the storage, reheating, and most importantly, the macros. Hook me up and subscribe to my channel. Spread the love, share the video. If you want to see 2 more recipes, I got them streaming below me. I'll be back next Friday with a brand new video like I always do. Until then, #keep on cooking. Peace.